The doorbell camera caught her leaving at 6:15. I know because I checked it 3 times on the airport shuttle, watching my wife walk out of our house in heels that cost more than my monthly car payment. She was carrying the leather tote I bought her last Christmas, the one she said was too nice for work events. Her hair was down. She never wore her hair down for client meetings. The notification had pinned itself to my phone's lock screen like an accusation. Motion detected at front door. I'd been sitting in Terminal B, Gate 47, nursing a watered-down coffee and waiting for a flight that would eventually get canceled due to mechanical issues. Our 7th anniversary dinner reservation was for 8. I'd reminded her that morning. She'd kissed my cheek and promised she'd be there. Then the text came at 4:30. Baby, I'm so sorry. Emergency wine tour with the regional team. Huge client from Boston. I can't say no to Linda. Can we reschedule? I'd stared at that message for 5 solid minutes while boarding announcements echoed around me. The thing about being a home inspector is you learn to spot the small failures before they become catastrophic. A hairline crack in a foundation, a slight give in a floor joist, the barely perceptible sag that means something structural is wrong. That text had a sag to it. I'd typed back, "Sure, have fun." 2 words, simple, clean. The period doing all the heavy lifting. My flight got canceled at 7. Mechanical problems with the wing flaps, whatever that meant. The airline offered me a hotel voucher and a seat on the 6 a.m. departure. I took an Uber home instead. $60 surge pricing on a Wednesday night, but I wanted my own bed. The house was dark when I arrived at 2:15 in the morning. Not unusual. Sarah worked late sometimes, crashed at her friend Michelle's place downtown when the wine events ran past midnight. Except her car was in the driveway. The silver Audi I'd co-signed for, parked at its usual angle, front wheels slightly turned toward the garage door she never remembered to straighten out. I paid the driver and stood on the sidewalk for a moment, my overnight bag hanging from one shoulder. October in coastal Massachusetts meant the wind came off the water with teeth in it. The neighborhood was silent except for the distant groan of a foghorn from the marina. Our house, a renovated colonial with good bones and new siding, looked like every other house on the block. Neat lawn, seasonal wreath on the door, the kind of place people saved for. The front door was unlocked. That stopped me. Sarah was paranoid about locks. She checked them twice before bed, tested the handle even after hearing the deadbolt click. I pushed the door open slowly, listening for any sound that would explain why she'd left it unsecured. The house smelled wrong. Not bad. Just wrong. There was a trace of cologne in the front hall, something woody and expensive that I didn't wear. My own scent was drugstore aftershave and honest sweat. This was the kind of fragrance that came in black glass bottles with French names. I set my bag down quietly and walked into the kitchen. The lights were off, but the under-cabinet LEDs were on, casting everything in a pale blue glow. On the counter sat a single plate with a slice of chocolate cake, untouched. Next to it, a note in Sarah's handwriting. For when you get home. Sorry I missed dinner. Let's celebrate this weekend. Love you. The cake still had the plastic fork sealed in its wrapper. The frosting hadn't even been disturbed. I looked at that cake for a long time. It was from the bakery downtown, the expensive one that required advance orders. She'd planned this. Ordered the cake, probably picked it up that afternoon, staged it like a prop in a play about a good marriage. That's when I noticed the wine glasses in the sink, 2 of them, both with dark red residue dried in the bottom. My wife doesn't drink red wine. It gives her headaches. She'd told me that on our second date, laughing as she'd ordered a Sauvignon Blanc while I'd gone for a Cabernet. I'd remembered it because I'm good at remembering the small things. That's my job. Notice the details other people miss. I pulled out my phone and opened our shared photo stream. We'd set it up years ago, one of those convenient features that meant any picture either of us took would show up on both devices. Automatic, seamless, the kind of thing married people do. The most recent photo had been uploaded 47 minutes ago. It showed Sarah and 3 of her friends at a wine bar I didn't recognize. They were holding glasses up to the camera, faces flushed and happy. The lighting was warm, intimate. Behind them, exposed brick and Edison bulbs. The caption read, "Tour finale with the best team ever." I zoomed in. In the reflection of Sarah's raised glass, clear as a fingerprint, was a man's forearm. The photograph captured it perfectly, that accidental mirror image in the curve of crystal. And on that forearm was a tattoo I'd seen before. A compass rose, dark ink, detailed work, the kind of piece that cost money and required multiple sessions. I'd seen it 3 weeks ago at Sarah's company picnic, on the arm of Evan Marchand, sales representative for a competing wine distributor. The guy who'd spent 20 minutes telling me about his CrossFit gym and his macros and his new Audi coupe that was basically the same as Sarah's but with the sport package. I took a screenshot, saved it to a private album. Then I went upstairs and got into bed still wearing my travel clothes. Sarah came home at 3:30. I heard her heels on the hardwood, heard the careful way she moved through the house trying not to make noise. She slipped into the bathroom and ran the water for a long time. When she finally came to bed, she smelled like hotel soap and breath mints. She didn't know I was awake. I lay there in the dark, listening to her breathe, and started making a list in my head. Not a list of confrontations or accusations. That's not how you handle structural failure. You document it. You gather evidence. You build a case so airtight that when the floor finally collapses, everyone knows exactly why. The doorbell camera had caught her leaving in those heels. I wondered what it would catch when she came home to an empty house and a different kind of note. But first, I needed proof. Real proof. The kind that doesn't rely on reflections in wine glasses or the wrong smell in a hallway. I needed timestamps and metadata and the kind of evidence that turns suspicion into certainty. I'm a building inspector. I know how to find the cracks. And I had just discovered that my marriage had a foundation problem. Before we go any further, hit the hype button, take a second to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel grow. And tell us in the comments, what would you do in this situation? I didn't sleep. At 6 a.m., I got up and made coffee like it was a normal Thursday. Sarah stayed in bed, her breathing deep and even, one arm thrown over the space where I'd been lying. In sleep, she looked exactly like the woman I'd married. It was only awake that the performance began. I took my laptop to the study and closed the door. Our phone bill was accessible online, had been for years. I logged into the account, the same password we'd used since setting it up. Sarah never worried about me checking it. Why would she? Married people trust each other. The call logs went back 90 days. I downloaded them as a PDF and opened a spreadsheet. First, I filtered by her number. Then I started looking for patterns. There were 47 calls to a number I didn't recognize over the past 6 weeks. The calls were short during business hours, just a minute or two. But after 8 p.m., they stretched longer. 12 minutes, 23 minutes. One conversation at 11:15 on a Tuesday night had lasted 41 minutes. I copied the number into a reverse lookup site. It came back with a name, Evan Marchand. I made a note, 47 calls since September 15th, longest duration, 41 minutes. Next, I checked the location data on our shared iCloud account, another feature we'd enabled for convenience, so we could always know where the other person was. Helpful for pickups and grocery runs and pretending you weren't tracking your spouse's movements. On the night she'd said she was at Michelle's place downtown, her phone had pinged from a location 17 miles north. I pulled up the address on Google Maps, a lakeside rental property, the kind of place that advertised itself as a romantic getaway with a hot tub and a fireplace and a view of the water. I took a screenshot, added it to my file. The doorbell camera footage was stored in the cloud for 30 days. I went through it systematically, noting every time Sarah had left the house in the past month. On 7 occasions, she'd left wearing what I'd started thinking of as her date clothes. Heels, hair down, the leather tote. Twice she'd come home after 2 a.m. 3 times she'd texted me that she was staying at Michelle's. I checked Michelle's Instagram, public account, because Michelle liked attention. On 2 of those nights, Michelle had posted photos of herself at home with her husband. "Wine night in with my best guy," one caption read. The timestamp was 11:30 p.m. Sarah hadn't been at Michelle's. I heard movement upstairs. Water running. The coffee maker would be calling to her soon. I pulled up the shared photo stream again and went through the past month's uploads. Most were innocuous. Sarah had a good eye for composition, and she documented everything. Brunch plates, sunset views from the harbor, mirror selfies in boutique dressing rooms, but some photos had location tags. On October 2nd, she'd uploaded a picture of a wine flight at a vineyard 40 minutes away. The location tag said, Stone Meadow Estates. I cross-referenced the date with my phone bill. That afternoon, she'd called Evan 3 times. On October 9th, another vineyard. This one an hour's drive. The photo showed her hand holding a glass against a backdrop of autumn hills. In the background, barely visible, was the edge of a black Audi hood. Evan drove a black Audi. I started a document, called it Anniversary. That felt appropriately bitter. In it, I laid out everything chronologically. Dates, times, phone logs, location data, screenshots, the cologne in the hallway, the 2 wine glasses, the reflection in the photograph from last night. It took me 2 hours to compile. When I was done, I had 11 pages of evidence that my wife was having an affair. Sarah appeared in the doorway at 8:15, wearing my old college sweatshirt and sleep shorts. Her hair was messy, face scrubbed clean. She looked younger without makeup, vulnerable. It was a good look on her. She'd probably practiced it. "Hey," she said. "You're up early." Couldn't sleep. She came over and kissed the top of my head. I didn't pull away. That would be showing my hand. "I'm really sorry about last night," she said. "Linda ambushed me with this client thing. You know how she is." "Yeah." "Were you able to get home okay?" "Eventually. Flight got canceled." "Oh no." Her hand was on my shoulder now, warm through my shirt. "That sucks. Did they at least give you a hotel?" "I just came home." "You should have called. I would have picked you up." I looked at her, really looked at her. She met my eyes without flinching. The performance was flawless. "I didn't want to wake you," I said. "You're sweet." She squeezed my shoulder. "What are you working on?" "Just catching up on some inspection reports. Have to submit 3 by end of business." "I'll let you focus." She headed for the door, then paused. "We should do something nice this weekend. Make up for last night. Maybe drive up to that inn you like?" "Sure." She smiled. "Love you." "Love you too." The words came out automatically, muscle memory from 7 years of saying them, but they tasted like aluminum in my mouth. After she left for work, I sat there for a long time, staring at the document I'd created. 11 pages, single-spaced, proof. But proof for what? If I confronted her now, she'd deny it. Cry. Say I was being paranoid. Twist it so I was the villain for not trusting her. I'd seen it happen to other guys. The husband who accused became the husband who was controlling, jealous, unreasonable. No. That wasn't how this was going to work. I needed more. I needed something she couldn't deny. Something public. Something that would make her face the truth in a way that left no room for spin. I pulled up Evan's social media profiles. Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, though he barely used it. His Instagram was public, full of gym selfies and pictures of his car and motivational quotes about crushing your goals. On October 12th, he'd posted a photo of a wine glass at sunset. The caption, "Sometimes you need to take a moment and appreciate the view." The location tag said, Stone Meadow Estates, Same date as one of Sarah's vineyard photos. I scrolled further, found a picture from 3 weeks ago. Him at a lakeside dock, shirtless, holding a beer. The caption was something about earning your rest day. The background showed part of a house, cedar shingles, and a green door. I compared it to my screenshot of Sarah's location data from that night. Same address. He'd been careless. They both had been. Careless because they thought no one was looking, because I was supposed to be the oblivious husband who believed everything his wife told him. My phone buzzed. A text from Sarah. Forgot to ask, did you eat the cake? I looked at the plate on the counter, the untouched slice still sitting there like evidence in a crime scene. I texted back, yeah, it was good. Thanks. Another buzz, almost immediate. I'm glad. You deserve something sweet. I turned off my phone and went back to my document, started adding new sections. Social media cross-reference, location tag analysis, timeline reconstruction. This wasn't about confrontation. This was about construction, building a case, making sure that when I finally showed her what I'd found, there would be no way for her to rebuild what I was about to demolish. But I needed one more piece. Something undeniable. Something that would catch her in the moment, not just in the aftermath. I thought about that lakeside rental, about the fact that Evan had posted from there, about the pattern of Thursday nights when Sarah claimed to be at Michelle's. It was Thursday. I pulled up the property listing for the lakeside rental. Available for weekend and weeknight stays. Book now for the best rates. The photos showed exactly what I'd expected. Romantic. Secluded. Private dock, hot tub on the deck. The kind of place you went when you wanted to pretend you were someone else for a while. I had a client meeting tomorrow morning, a routine inspection on a property 3 miles from that lake. I'd scheduled it weeks ago. Maybe I'd take a drive afterward, see the area, do some reconnaissance. Maybe I'd bring my camera. After all, I was good at documenting structural problems, and my marriage had just revealed a load-bearing wall that was about to fail. The property I was inspecting Friday morning was a 1970s split level with a basement that smelled like decades of trapped moisture. The seller had listed it as cozy, which in real estate terms meant small and slightly depressing. I spent 90 minutes checking for water damage, testing outlets, and writing notes about the ancient furnace that wheezed like an asthmatic chain smoker. My last appointment. I finished by 10:30. The lakeside rental was 12 minutes away, according to my GPS. I told myself I was just curious, that I wanted to see the place, get a sense of the geography, that I wasn't planning anything, just gathering information the way I'd been trained to gather information, inspect, document, report. The road wound through stands of pine and birch, leaves mostly fallen now, the trees skeletal against an overcast sky. October in New England always felt like the world was getting ready to sleep. The lake appeared suddenly, a sheet of gray water barely ruffled by wind. A few houses dotted the shoreline, seasonal places mostly, the kind that got boarded up after Columbus Day. But the rental was still active. I'd checked this morning, currently booked for a midweek retreat. I found it easily. Cedar shingles, green door, private dock, exactly like Evan's photo. I parked my truck on the access road 50 yards back, tucked behind a stand of trees where I had a clear sight line but wasn't obvious. Then I waited. At 11:15, a black Audi coupe pulled into the driveway. Evan's car. I recognized the vanity plate. Crush it. He got out, stretched, checked his phone, wore expensive athleisure, the kind of outfit that cost $200 to look like you'd just rolled out of bed. He grabbed a bag from the trunk, locked the car, and went inside. 10 minutes later, a silver Audi sedan arrived. Sarah's car. I watched her get out. She was wearing jeans and a cream-colored sweater, hair pulled back in a ponytail. Casual, comfortable. The way she dressed on weekends when we used to drive up to Vermont for leaf peeping and cider donuts. She didn't look around, just walked straight to the door like she'd been there before. They didn't come back out. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, gripping the steering wheel, breathing slowly through my nose. Part of me wanted to march up to that door and kick it open, drag them both out onto the lawn and make them explain this to my face. But that wasn't the plan. The plan required patience, control. I pulled out my phone and took a photo of both cars in the driveway, license plates visible. Then I got out and walked closer, staying on the public access road. At this angle, I could see the deck. Through the sliding glass doors, movement. 2 figures. They were standing close together, talking, relaxed. I took another photo. The distance made them indistinct, but their positions were clear. Then I did something I'd been thinking about since last night. I walked down the driveway, staying quiet on the gravel. Evan's Audi was unlocked. I could see the keys sitting in the cup holder, visible through the window. Careless. But then, they thought they were safe here. From my wallet, I pulled out a photo. It was from our 5th anniversary, 2 years ago. Sarah and I at a restaurant in Portland, both of us laughing at something the waiter had said. We looked happy. We'd been happy, or at least, I'd thought we were. I tucked it under the driver's side windshield wiper, held in place by the blade. No note, just the photo. Let them wonder who'd put it there. Let Evan realize someone knew he was here. Let the paranoia start. I was back at my truck when I heard the door open. Voices carried across the water, indistinct but urgent. Someone laughed, then stopped abruptly. I waited. A minute later, Evan came out onto the deck, phone in hand. He was looking around, scanning the tree line. Then he walked down to his car. I watched him find the photo, watched him pick it up, study it. His body language changed instantly, shoulders tight, head swiveling. He called back to the house. Sarah appeared on the deck, arms crossed. Even from this distance, I could see her posture shift when he showed her the picture. She said something. He shook his head, pointed at the tree line. Then he started walking. Toward me. I got out of my truck slowly, making noise this time. Boots on gravel. Door closing with a solid thunk. He was 30 yards away when he spotted me. For a second, he froze. I saw his brain trying to process it. Who was I? What was I doing here? Then recognition flickered across his face. He'd seen me before, at the company picnic, the husband. Hey, he called out, not aggressive yet, confused. You lost or something? I smiled, kept my hands visible. Just finishing up a job inspection nearby, thought I'd check out the lake. This is private property. I'm on the public road. He came closer, trying to project authority, trying to be the alpha, the guy who lifts and posts about mindset and crushing goals. Up close, I could see he was younger than me by maybe 2 years, but he carried himself like someone who'd never been punched in the face. What's your name? He asked. Does it matter? You're the husband. Not a question. And you're the guy she's lying to me about. His jaw tightened. Behind him, Sarah was still on the deck, too far away to hear but close enough to watch. She had her phone in her hand. Look, man, Evan said, I don't know what you think is happening here, but I don't think anything. I know. You should talk to your wife. I will, when I'm ready. He glanced back at the house, then at me, calculating. You can't just show up here. I haven't done anything illegal, have you? That landed. His face flushed. This is harassment. No, this is me taking a drive on a public road near a property I was hired to inspect. Total coincidence. Bullshit, I shrugged. Prove it. He took a step forward. The posturing reflex. The gym bro instinct to intimidate through size. He had maybe 20 pounds on me, most of it in his shoulders and chest. But I'd spent 15 years crawling through crawl spaces and climbing on roofs. I was stronger than I looked. You need to leave, he said. Or what? Or I'll call the cops. Go ahead. Tell them your married girlfriend's husband showed up on a public road. I'm sure they'll rush right over. Behind him, Sarah started walking down from the deck. Fast. Her face was pale. Evan must have heard her footsteps because he turned. When he turned back to me, His expression had changed. Less confident now, more aware that this situation was spiraling. "Just go," he said. "Whatever this is, it's between you and her." "You're right about that." I looked past him at Sarah. She'd stopped halfway down the driveway, frozen between the house and her husband and her boyfriend, the 3 points of a triangle that couldn't hold. "Nice place," I called to her. "Very romantic." Her mouth opened, closed. No words came out. I got back in my truck, started the engine. Before pulling away, I looked at Evan one more time. "Careful on these roads," I said. "They get slippery this time of year. Easy to lose your footing." I drove away slowly, watching them in my rearview mirror. They stood there in the driveway, 2 people who'd been having a fun little escape, suddenly realizing someone had found their hiding place. The photo was still in Evan's hand. At the end of the access road, I pulled over and added new notes to my file. October 18th, 10:45 a.m. Both vehicles confirmed at rental property. Confrontation with Evan Marchand. Subject aware of surveillance. Then I sat there for 5 minutes, letting my heartbeat slow down, letting the adrenaline bleed out. This was the point of no return. They knew I knew. The secret was blown open. Now the real work would begin. Because I hadn't just wanted to catch them. I'd wanted them to know they were caught. I'd wanted to plant the seed of paranoia. Make them scared. Make them wonder what else I knew, what else I had. Make them start turning on each other. I checked my phone. No messages. Sarah hadn't tried to call or text. She was probably still standing in that driveway, trying to figure out what to say. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered the chocolate cake, the staged note, the 7 calls to Evan while I'd been sitting in an airport waiting for a flight that would never leave. I didn't feel sorry anymore. I pulled back onto the road and headed home. I had work to do, phone calls to make, people to see, because this wasn't about confrontation, it was about construction, and I was just getting started with the demolition. By the time I got home, it was almost noon. Sarah's car wasn't in the driveway. She'd probably gone straight to work, or maybe she was hiding at Michelle's, trying to figure out her next move. It didn't matter. The clock was running now. I made a sandwich I didn't eat and sat at the kitchen table with my phone. First call, my sister, Rebecca. She picked up on the 3rd ring, sounding harried. She was always harried. ER nurses lived in a permanent state of controlled chaos. "Hey," she said, "kind of busy. What's up?" "Sarah's having an affair." Silence. Then, "Jesus, are you sure?" "I'm sure." "How sure?" I gave her the short version. Phone logs, location data, the lakeside confrontation. When I finished, she exhaled slowly. "Okay," she said. "What do you need?" That was Rebecca. No useless sympathy, no platitudes, just immediate tactical thinking. It was why she was good at her job. "I need you to know what's happening," I said, "in case this gets worse." "Worse how?" "I don't know yet, but if Sarah starts telling people I'm unstable or dangerous, I want someone on my side who knows the truth." "You're planning something." "I'm planning to make her face what she did, publicly." "That sounds like revenge." "It is revenge." She was quiet for a moment. In the background, I heard hospital sounds, intercoms, beeping monitors, people having the worst day of their lives. "Be careful," she said finally. "Don't do anything that crosses a line." "I won't. I mean it. Don't hit him, don't threaten her. Don't do anything that could come back on you legally." "I know." "Do you? Because you sound like you're barely holding it together." "I'm fine." "No, you're not. But I get it." Another pause. "If you need anything, call me. I mean that. 3 a.m., whatever, I'll be there." "Thanks. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry. Sarah seemed great." "She was great. That's what makes this hurt." After I hung up, I sat there for a while, staring at nothing. The house felt different now, contaminated. Every surface held a memory that had been retroactively poisoned. The couch where we'd watched movies, the table where we'd eaten breakfast, the bed where I'd believed we were building something real. I shook it off. That kind of thinking was quicksand. Second call, Tom Hendricks, my neighbor 3 doors down. Tom was retired, bored, and served on the HOA board with the enthusiasm of someone who'd finally found his true calling. He also had a Ring doorbell, 2 security cameras, and enough free time to monitor them all obsessively. "Hey, Tom," I said when he answered. "Got a minute?" "Always. What's on your mind?" "I wanted to let you know Sarah and I are separating." I heard his intake of breath. "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's been coming for a while. I'm going to be moving out soon, but I wanted to give you a heads up. You know, in case you see activity at the house or anything unusual." "Of course. Whatever you need. I appreciate it. And if you happen to see anyone coming or going that seems off, maybe you could let me know. Just want to make sure the house stays secure during the transition." "Absolutely. I'll keep an eye out." "Thanks, Tom." That was planting seed number 1. Tom would tell his wife would tell the HOA Facebook group. By Monday, half the neighborhood would know we were having marital troubles. The rumor would reach Sarah's friends, her co-workers. People would start asking questions. Third call, Eddie Rossi, owner of The Anchor, a bar downtown where Sarah's company held a lot of their events. Eddie and I went back to high school, back when we were both playing mediocre football and nursing big dreams. He'd followed through on his. Opened the bar at 25 and turned it into the go-to spot for the wine industry crowd. "My man," Eddie said when he picked up. "Long time. Too long. Listen, I have a question. Did Sarah book The Anchor for a private event this month?" I heard him tapping on a keyboard. "Yeah, October 28th. Anniversary party for some client, I think." "Why?" "October 28th. That was next week. Our actual anniversary was last night. She'd booked a party for a client on what would have been our makeup celebration." "Just curious," I said. "Thanks. Everything okay?" "Yeah, just keeping track of her schedule. You know how it is." "Sure." He didn't sound convinced. "Hey, if you want to grab a drink sometime, I'm around. I'll take you up on that." After we hung up, I added the date to my file. October 28th, a private party at the Anchor, with clients, with co-workers, public, perfect. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. "We need to talk." I stared at it. 3 hours. It had taken her 3 hours to work up the courage to send that message. I typed, "I don't think there's anything to talk about." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. "Please, I can explain." I laughed out loud. The sound echoed in the empty kitchen. No need to explain. I saw enough. "It's not what you think. It's exactly what I think. Please don't do this over text." "You started an affair over text. Seems appropriate." The 3 dots stayed there for a long time. Finally, "When did you become so cruel?" I didn't respond to that. Just turned off my phone and went upstairs. In our bedroom, I pulled out a duffel bag and started packing. Not everything. Just enough to make it look like I was leaving. Clothes, toiletries, my laptop. I left the bag on the bed, half zipped. Obvious. Then I went back downstairs and started making calls to property management companies. Left voicemails saying I was looking for a short-term rental, needed to move quickly. Could they call me back with options? I made the calls on speakerphone, loud enough that if Sarah came home, she'd hear them. But she didn't come home. At 7 p.m., I got a text from Rebecca. "You still alive?" "Barely." "Want company?" "Not tonight, thanks though." "You're going to do something stupid, aren't you?" "Probably. Just remember, she's not worth prison." "I'm not going to prison." "That's what everyone says." I smiled despite myself. "Love you too." At 8:30, I heard a car in the driveway. Not Sarah's Audi, a Honda, Michelle's car. I went to the window and watched. Michelle got out, walked to the front door, knocked. She was wearing her work clothes, slacks and a blazer, hair pulled back, professional, here on a mission. I opened the door before she could knock again. "Hey," she said. Her voice was careful. "Sarah asked me to check on you." "I'm fine." "Can I come in?" "Why?" "Because we need to talk about this like adults." I stepped aside. Let her in. Michelle had been Sarah's friend since college, maid of honor at our wedding, the person Sarah called first, with good news and bad news. Looking at her now, I wondered how much she'd known, if she'd helped cover, if she'd been in on it from the start. "Sarah's really upset," Michelle said. "I'm devastated." "She said you showed up at the lake house." "I was in the area." "Come on, don't be like that." "Like what? Like a husband who just found out his wife is screwing another guy?" Michelle flinched. "It's complicated." "No, it's not. It's actually very simple. She loves you." Funny way of showing it. She made a mistake. For 6 weeks? That's a pretty sustained mistake. Michelle looked around the kitchen, saw the duffel bag visible through the bedroom doorway upstairs. Her expression softened. "What are you going to do?" she asked. "What do you think I should do?" "I think you should talk to her. Really talk. Maybe you two can work through this." "Would you? If you found out your husband was cheating?" She didn't answer that. "Tell Sarah I'll be in touch," I said. "When I'm ready." "Where are you going?" "I don't know yet. Somewhere she isn't." "This is your house too?" "Yeah, and I don't want to be here right now." Michelle nodded slowly. "For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I know that doesn't mean much." "Did you know?" "No, not until today. If I find out you're lying, I'll make sure everyone knows you helped her hide it." Her face went pale. "I wouldn't do that. Then we don't have a problem." After she left, I watched through the window as she sat in her car for 5 minutes, phone pressed to her ear. Talking to Sarah, probably. Reporting back. Let them talk. Let them strategize. Let them think I was broken and running away. It would make what came next so much sweeter. I went back to my laptop and opened a new document. Started drafting a message. Short, simple, the kind of thing that would spread quickly. "Friends and family, I wanted to let you know that Sarah and I are going through a difficult time and have decided to separate. I appreciate your support and ask for privacy as we work through this transition." I didn't send it. Not yet. But I had it ready, loaded and aimed. My phone buzzed. "Sarah, can we please talk about this in person?" I typed. "No need to reschedule what no longer exists." Then I turned off my phone and went to bed in the guest room, leaving the door open so she'd see the empty bed upstairs when she finally came home. If she came home. Part of me hoped she wouldn't. Part of me hoped she'd stay at Michelle's, or at Evan's, or at another rental property, where they could pretend this wasn't happening. But I knew she'd come back. She had to. This was her house, her life, her carefully constructed image, and I was about to burn it all down. Saturday morning, Sarah's car was in the driveway. She'd come home sometime in the early hours. I'd heard her moving around upstairs, quiet and careful, probably checking to see if I was still there. I'd waited in the guest room, door open, lights off. Let her wonder. At 8 a.m., she knocked on the guest room door. I was already awake, dressed, sitting on the bed with my phone. "Can we talk?" she asked through the door. "Door's open." She came in slowly. She looked terrible, eyes red and swollen, hair unwashed, still wearing yesterday's clothes. Good. Let her hurt. "I don't know what to say," she started. "Then don't say anything. I never meant for this to happen. That's the thing about affairs. Nobody means for them to happen. They just do, over and over, for weeks." She sat down on the chair by the window, keeping distance between us. It was stupid. I was stupid. That's not an excuse. I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to explain. I don't want your explanation. I want you to understand what you did. The lies, the planning. The fact that you looked me in the eye every single day and pretended everything was fine. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. What do you want me to do? I looked at her for a long moment. I want you to know what it feels like. What do you mean? To have everyone see who you really are. Her face went pale. Please don't. Don't what? Tell the truth? Don't make this public. We can work through this privately. Like you worked through your affair privately? That's not fair. Fair? I stood up. You want to talk about fair? You had me believing we were happy. Had me planning surprises for our anniversary while you were planning wine tours with your boyfriend. And now you want me to be quiet about it? To protect your reputation? I'm asking you not to destroy my life. You did that yourself. She started crying then. Real tears. The kind that came with hiccuping breaths and running makeup. It didn't move me. I'd cried too, alone in the guest room at 3 a.m., angry tears that left me feeling hollow. What do you want? She asked again. I want you to feel what I felt yesterday, when I was standing on that road watching you walk into a house with another man. I want you to know what it's like to have your whole world revealed as a lie. So this is revenge. Yes. She wiped her face. I thought you were better than that. I thought you were better than this. Guess we were both wrong. I walked past her, grabbed my jacket from the hook by the door. Where are you going? She asked. Out. Please stay. Please, let's just talk about this. I'm done talking. The Coastal Food and Wine Festival was set up on Harbor Street, a 3-block stretch of vendors and tasting booths that drew crowds every October. I'd seen the posters up around town for weeks. Sarah's company, Cascade Valley Distributors, had a booth there today. She was supposed to work it. I parked 2 blocks away and walked. The festival was crowded despite the cold. Families, couples, tourists with cameras. The smell of fried food and spiced cider mixed with the salt air from the marina. I bought a coffee from a cart and wandered, watching. The Cascade Valley booth was near the center, prime real estate. Sarah wasn't there yet, but 2 of her co-workers were setting up. I recognized them from the company picnic. The same people who'd been in that photo from the wine bar. I waited. Sarah arrived 20 minutes later with Michelle. They were talking in low voices, heads close together. Strategic planning. Michelle saw me first, grabbed Sarah's arm, said something. Sarah's head snapped up. Our eyes met across 50 feet of crowd. I smiled, raised my coffee in a small salute. She said something to Michelle, then started walking toward me. Michelle tried to follow, but Sarah waved her off. We met near a pretzel vendor, standing in the flow of festival foot traffic. People moved around us like water around stones. What are you doing here? Sarah asked quietly. It's a public festival. I'm allowed to be here. You're following me. No, I'm attending an event in my town. You just happen to be working it. Please, just go. I'm not doing anything wrong. A couple squeezed past us, apologizing. Sarah lowered her voice even more. You're going to make a scene. Am I making a scene? I'm just standing here. You know what you're doing? I do. I'm being a supportive member of the community at a local festival. Her jaw tightened. She glanced back at her booth where Michelle and the co-workers were watching. How did you find out? She asked suddenly. Does it matter? I need to know. You left evidence, a lot of it. I'm good at finding problems. It's my job. How long have you known? Long enough. She looked down at her hands. They were shaking slightly. What are you going to do? I haven't decided yet. Are you going to tell my work? Should I? No, please. That would destroy my career. Maybe you should have thought about that before. I know I screwed up, I know. But please don't ruin my whole life over this. I took a sip of coffee. It had gone lukewarm. You chose this, all of it. The lies, the risks. You chose him over me every single time you met him. You chose your reputation when you lied about where you were. You built this. I'm just showing people the architecture. I'll do anything. We can go to counseling. I'll end it with Evan. Whatever you want. I don't want counseling. I don't want you to end it. I want everyone to know who you really are. Why? Because I spent 7 years trusting you, building a life with you, and you threw it away for what? Some guy with a vanity plate and a gym membership? You made me a fool. So yes, I want people to know. I want them to see past the performance. Movement behind Sarah. Evan was approaching, walking fast. He must have been watching from somewhere in the crowd. "Hey," he said, stepping between us. Protective. The boyfriend. "She asked you to leave." And I said no. "You need to back off." "Or what?" "Or I'll make you." "You're going to make me leave a public festival, in front of all these witnesses, in front of your girlfriend's co-workers?" That stopped him. He looked around, suddenly aware of the crowd. Several people were watching now, phones probably recording. "Just walk away," Evan said. His voice had lost some of its edge. "This isn't the place." "You're right. It's not. But you brought your affair here, to her workplace, to a community event. So maybe you should have thought about that. What's your problem, man?" "My problem is you're sleeping with my wife." I said it loudly, clear, conversational but projected. A few people nearby stopped talking. Evan's face flushed. "Keep your voice down." "Why? Worried people will hear?" "You're acting crazy." "I'm acting honest. There's a difference." Sarah grabbed Evan's arm. "Stop, both of you." I looked at her. "I have one question. Did you ever actually love me? Or was I just convenient until someone more exciting came along?" "Of course I loved you." Loved. Past tense. "I still love you." "No, you don't. You love what I represented. Stability, security, a safe backup plan. But you wanted excitement too, so you found it, and you lied about it, for weeks." Michelle appeared, breathless. "Okay, we need to shut this down, now." She took Sarah's other arm, tried to pull her away. Sarah resisted. "I'm sorry," Sarah said to me. "I'm so sorry." "Too late." "It's not too late. We can fix this." I pulled out my phone, opened the photos, found the screenshot of the phone bill, the one showing 47 calls to Evan's number. I turned the phone so Sarah could see. "This is your phone log. 47 calls. The longest was 41 minutes at 11:15 on a Tuesday. You told me that night you were at Michelle's. But Michelle was home with her husband. She posted about it." Sarah's face went white. I swiped to the next photo. The location data from the lakeside rental. "This is where you were instead." Michelle saw the screen. Her expression changed. "Sarah, what the hell?" "I can explain," Sarah said. "Can you?" I asked. "Because I'd love to hear the explanation for this one." I swiped again. The doorbell camera footage timestamp. Sarah leaving in heels and the leather tote at 6:15 on our anniversary. Or this, leaving for an emergency work tour, in party clothes. Michelle let go of Sarah's arm, stepped back. "You told me it was one time." "It was complicated," Sarah said. "You lied to me." "I'm sorry." "She's sorry," I said. "She's really truly sorry, just like she was sorry when she missed our anniversary. Sorry when she said she was working late. Sorry every time she texted me from his bed." Evan reached for my phone. "Stop showing people that." I pulled it back. "It's my phone, my evidence. I can show whoever I want." "You're harassing her." "I'm having a conversation in a public place. That's not harassment. You want to see harassment? I can file a civil suit for alienation of affection. That's still legal in Massachusetts. I could name you as a defendant. Make this a court case with depositions and public records." That landed. Evan went quiet. "Just go," Sarah said to me. Her voice was breaking. "Please, just go." I looked at the three of them. Sarah crying, Michelle angry, Evan posturing but scared. "I'll go," I said. "But this conversation isn't over." I walked away. Behind me I heard them arguing. Michelle's voice sharp, Sarah's desperate, Evan trying to calm them both down. People were staring, whispering. Good. Let them stare. Let them whisper. Let the truth spread through this town like flood damage through drywall. By Monday, everyone would know. The HOA, the co-workers, the wine industry crowd that Sarah worked so hard to impress. I'd cracked the foundation. Now, I just had to wait for the collapse, and I'd make sure I was there to watch it fall. Sunday morning, I was sitting in my truck outside Eddie Rossi's bar when my phone rang. Tom Hendricks from the HOA. "Hey," he said. "I hate to bother you on a weekend, but I wanted to give you a heads up. Your front yard is getting some attention." "What kind of attention?" "Looks like Sarah posted something in the neighborhood group about a patio furniture sale at your place today at 2. Says it's first come, first served." I checked the Facebook group. Sure enough, Sarah had posted 15 minutes ago. "Moving sale, high-quality patio set, gas grill, various outdoor items. Today at 2 p.m., free to good home, 147 Sycamore Circle." Our address. "Tom, I didn't authorize that post." "That's what I figured. Thought you should know." "Thanks." I drove home fast. Sarah's car wasn't there. She'd posted the announcement and run. Let me deal with the fallout. Except this wasn't sabotage. This was opportunity. By 1:30, I'd dragged our patio furniture to the front lawn. The metal table and 4 chairs we'd bought on sale from Target 3 years ago. The gas grill that didn't work anymore because the igniter was broken. Some plastic storage bins that had been sitting in the garage. Then I added more. Kitchen chairs we never used, old books, a broken laptop, the vacuum cleaner that Sarah had been meaning to repair. Anything that would draw a crowd. At 1:45, I made a new post in the neighborhood group. Additional items added to moving sale at 147 Sycamore. Everything must go. Come early for best selection. If you're interested in buying the house, I'm available to discuss. 5 minutes later, Tom pulled up in his Tesla. "You're actually doing it?" "Might as well. She set it up." "Is this legal?" "It's my house. My stuff. I can give it away if I want." "What about Sarah?" "What about her?" He looked uncomfortable. "This feels like you're trying to make a point." "I'm just having a moving sale. She advertised it." By 2 o'clock, 15 people had shown up, neighbors mostly, a few curiosity seekers who'd seen the post, Tom's wife, the couple from across the street, the college kid who rented the basement apartment 4 doors down. They picked through the items awkwardly, unsure if this was legitimate or some kind of domestic dispute spectacle. "Is this really free?" asked Tom's wife, holding up a set of mixing bowls. "All yours." "Where's Sarah?" "Not here." That answer rippled through the crowd. Phones came out, people texted. Within minutes, the attendance doubled. At 2:15, a black Audi coupe turned onto our street. Evan. He pulled up to the curb, blocked in immediately by a minivan that had parked behind him. He got out, looked at the crowd, spotted me standing on the front lawn. He walked over, moving with false confidence. "What is this?" "Moving sale. Didn't you see the post?" "Sarah didn't approve this." "Sarah posted it. I'm just following through." "This is her house." "It's our house, joint tenancy. I can give away anything I want." A woman with 2 kids walked past us carrying the gas grill. "Thanks for this," she called out. Evan watched her go. "You're doing this to embarrass her." "I'm doing this because my wife posted a sale and I'm a helpful husband." "You're being petty." "Maybe, but it's legal petty." Michelle's Honda pulled up then, Sarah in the passenger seat. Sarah got out fast, looking at the crowd, her face going through stages of horror and disbelief. "What did you do?" she shouted at me. "Followed through on your post. I was trying to get back at you. Congratulations, you advertised a moving sale, so I'm having one." She looked at the empty porch, the missing furniture, the neighbors picking through our belongings like it was an estate sale. "This is insane," she said. "This is what happens when you pick a fight publicly." Michelle was on her phone. "Sarah, the post is going viral in the group. 300 comments already." Sarah's hands were shaking. "Make it stop." "I can't. You started it." Evan put his hand on Sarah's shoulder. Mistake. Tom Hendricks was filming now, phone up and obvious. Hey, I called to the crowd. Free drinks inside if anyone wants water or soda. A few people took me up on it, walking into my house. Our house. Sarah looked like she might scream. You're letting strangers inside? She asked. It's a moving sale. People shop. I live here. Do you? Because you haven't been here much lately. Evan stepped forward. Okay, everyone needs to leave. This sale is canceled. You don't live here, I said. You can't cancel anything. Sarah lives here. And Sarah posted the sale. So which is it? Is the sale real or not? Sarah grabbed my arm. Please stop. Please. I looked down at her hand on my sleeve. Get off me. She let go, stepped back. You want me to stop? I asked. Fine. Everyone. I raised my voice. Sale's over. Please leave. Take whatever you've already picked up. That's fine. But we're closed. The crowd murmured but started dispersing. Slowly, reluctantly. This was better than cable TV. Tom lingered. You need anything? No, thanks for checking. After everyone left, it was just the four of us on the front lawn. Me, Sarah, Michelle, Evan. The patio furniture was gone. The grill was gone. Most of the boxes were gone. The lawn looked like a crime scene after the police had left. Are you happy? Sarah asked. Did this make you feel better? A little. You're destroying everything. You started the demolition. I'm just finishing the job. I made a mistake. You made 47 phone calls. Those aren't mistakes. That's a choice. A sustained, deliberate choice. Evan put himself between us again. I was getting tired of his posturing. Back off, he said. Move. Make me. We stood there, 2 feet apart. He had size on me, but I had rage. It was close to even. Then Evan shoved me, 2 hands on my chest, pushing hard. I stumbled back, caught myself. The shove registered in my brain like a switch flipping. Violence. Legally, he'd assaulted me, in front of witnesses. I stepped forward and slapped him, not a punch, a slap. Open hand, hard across his face. The sound was sharp and clean in the quiet street. His head snapped to the side. He stood there, stunned, hand rising to his reddening cheek. File a report, I said. Please, I'd love to explain to the police why my wife's boyfriend put his hands on me first. Sarah screamed. Stop! Michelle grabbed Evan's arm. Let's go, now! Evan was breathing hard, staring at me with something between hate and humiliation. You're gonna regret that, he said. I regret marrying her. Slapping you? That felt good. Let's go, Michelle said again, pulling harder. They left. Evan's Audi peeling away from the curb. Sarah stood on the lawn, looking at the empty space where our patio furniture had been. I can't believe you did this, she said. I can't believe you slept with him. So we're even. We're not even. We'll never be even. You're right, because you destroyed a 7-year marriage, and I took some lawn chairs. I want you out of this house. No. This is my house. It's our house, and I'm not leaving. Then I will. Go ahead, move in with Evan, or Michelle, or rent your own place where you can sneak around without me catching you. She started crying again. I didn't care. I was out of sympathy, out of patience, out of everything except the need to make her understand the full weight of what she'd done. I never wanted to hurt you, she said. But you did. You hurt me every single day for weeks. And you're still trying to make this about your feelings, about how sorry you are, about how I'm being cruel. You hit him. I slapped him, after he shoved me, in front of witnesses, with Tom Hendricks filming. Her face went white. Tom was filming? The whole time. Oh God. Yeah. By tomorrow, that footage will be all over the neighborhood, maybe the whole town. Your company will probably see it, your bosses, your clients. You're ruining my life. You ruined it. I'm just holding up the mirror. I walked past her, into the house, closed the door, locked it. Through the window, I watched her stand there on the empty lawn, alone, surrounded by nothing, That's what betrayal looked like. Space where something used to be. The negative image of trust. I hoped she was memorizing the feeling, because that's what she'd given me, and now I was giving it back, with interest. Monday morning, I found the key fob in a puddle on the sidewalk 2 blocks from our house. Small, black, plastic. The kind property management companies used for their rental units. It had the logo for Bayside Vacation Rentals stamped on one side. I picked it up, turned it over, thought about how odd it was that this would be here, so far from the lake. Then I remembered Michelle had been at the patio sale yesterday. Michelle, who worked in event planning just like Sarah. Michelle, who'd probably helped coordinate the lakeside rental. I pocketed the fob and went home. At noon, I drove to the Bayside Vacation Rentals office. Small brick building near the marina, windows covered in photos of scenic properties. I walked in. A woman in her 50s looked up from her desk, smiled professionally. "Can I help you?" "I found this key fob on the street," I said, placing it on her desk. "Thought I should return it. Someone probably needs it." She picked it up. "Oh, thank you. Let me check which property this is for." She typed on her computer, frowning. "Lakeside Cottage. That's rented right now. The guest is going to be relieved. These things cost money to replace." "Happy to help. Do you need me to sign anything?" "We have a found item log, just for our records." She pushed a clipboard toward me. Basic form, name, date, description of item. I filled it out. Legible handwriting, dated today. Under finder's name, I put my real name. Why not? This was all above board. "And the property was rented under?" I asked casually. She glanced at her screen. "Michelle Torres. She's a regular customer. Books several properties a year for corporate events." Good to know it's going back to the right person. I walked out. Michelle Torres. Not Sarah. Michelle had booked the lakeside cottage where my wife had been sleeping with Evan. That changed things. At home, I made coffee and thought about it. Michelle wasn't just Sarah's friend. She was an accomplice, maybe even the architect, the one who arranged logistics while Sarah and Evan enjoyed the results. I pulled up Michelle's social media, scrolled back through October, September, August, there, August 15th. A photo of Michelle and Sarah at a wine bar, glasses raised. The caption, "Planning big things with my favorite partner in crime." Partner in crime. I kept scrolling, found more. July, a picture of Michelle alone on a dock. Background showed cedar shingles and a green door, the lakeside cottage. "Scouting the perfect location for client events," the caption read. Client events. Right. Michelle had found the place, booked it, given Sarah and Evan the keys. She'd been coordinating this from the start. My phone buzzed. Rebecca. "Hey," she said. "I heard about yesterday. The whole neighborhood knows." "Good. You slapped him?" "He shoved me first." "Still, you need to be careful." "I am being careful. I'm documenting everything." "You're escalating. That's different." She tried to humiliate me with a fake moving sale. I turned it around. That's fair. "Nothing about this is fair. That's the point. You're both just hurting each other now." "She started it. And you're finishing it. But at what cost?" I didn't have an answer for that. "Come by the hospital tonight," Rebecca said. "Let me check your hands. Make sure you didn't break anything when you hit him." "I didn't punch him. I slapped him." "Same damage potential. Be here at 8. She hung up. At 7, I drove to the hospital. Rebecca met me in the ER break room, tired and irritated. "Let me see," she said. I held out my right hand. She examined it, pressing on the knuckles, testing range of motion. "No fractures," she said. "You're lucky." I was controlled. "You were angry. There's a difference." She sat down across from me, still in her scrubs. "What's the endgame here?" "I want everyone to know what she did." "And then what? You divorce her and move on?" "Maybe." "Maybe? You haven't decided? I've decided she doesn't get to walk away clean. That's all I know right now. Rebecca rubbed her eyes. You're getting darker. I can see it. Whatever you were when this started, you're not that person anymore. Good. That person was naive. That person was kind. Kind people get betrayed. So you're going to become cruel. I'm going to become honest. There's a difference. She looked at me for a long moment. I love you. You're my brother. But I don't like what this is turning you into. You don't have to like it. When this is over, you're going to have to live with what you did. Make sure you can. After I left the hospital, I sat in my truck for 20 minutes thinking about what Rebecca had said, about darkness and cruelty and who I was becoming. The truth was, I didn't recognize myself anymore. The man who'd boarded a plane on Wednesday was gone, replaced by someone harder, colder, someone who checked doorbell footage and plotted public humiliations and slapped his wife's boyfriend in front of witnesses. Was that progress, or was it just another kind of damage? My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. We need to talk. This is Michelle. I stared at it. She'd gotten my number from Sarah. About what? I typed. About how we fix this before it gets worse. It's already worse. Please, meet me for coffee tomorrow. 30 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I thought about the key fob, the rental log with her name on it, the photos showing her involvement. Fine. Where? Coastal Cafe, 10 a.m. I'll be there. Tuesday morning came with a nor'easter warning, dark clouds rolling in from the Atlantic, wind already picking up. The weather report said it would hit by afternoon. Rain, wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour, potential flooding in low-lying areas. Perfect timing. I got to Coastal Cafe at 9:45. Michelle was already there, sitting in the back corner with 2 coffees on the table. She looked exhausted. Hair pulled back tight, no makeup, the kind of face people wore when they'd been crying. I sat down across from her. Thanks for coming, she said. You said 30 minutes. Clock's running. She pushed one of the coffees toward me. Black, right? Yeah. We sat in silence for a moment. Outside, the wind rattled the cafe windows. Sarah's falling apart, Michelle said finally. Good. She's not eating, not sleeping. She's terrified of losing her job. She should be. You're destroying her. She destroyed us first. Michelle leaned forward. I'm not saying what she did was okay. It wasn't. But you're taking this too far. How far is too far? Because from where I'm sitting, I've just been telling the truth. You're weaponizing the truth. There's a difference. Is there? Because it seems like the only people upset about the truth are the ones who benefited from the lies. You slapped Evan. He shoved me. I defended myself. In front of half the neighborhood. Yes, publicly. The same way Sarah publicly destroyed our anniversary. The same way you publicly helped her arrange it. Michelle went pale. What? I pulled out my phone, showed her the photo of the Bayside Rentals log. Her name, her signature, the date. I returned your key fob yesterday, I said. You left it at our patio sale. The rental office was very grateful. Her hands started shaking. You took that to them? I found it, returned it. They logged it. Your name is on the property rental for the lakeside cottage. Oh God. You booked it, multiple times. For Sarah and Evan, you coordinated everything. It's not what you think. What do I think? I was trying to help her. Help her cheat? Help her figure out what she wanted. She was confused. She thought she loved him. I told her to test it, to see if it was real or just excitement. And your solution was to rent her a love nest? I thought if she got it out of her system, she'd realize you were what she really wanted. I laughed. Actually laughed. The sound was bitter even to my own ears. That's your defense? You were being a good friend? I was trying to protect both of you. By enabling her affair? By letting her make her own choice. She made her choice, multiple times, for weeks, and you helped her do it. Michelle was crying now. I didn't think it would go this far. I thought she'd end it after a few times. You thought wrong, and now everyone's going to know you were part of it. Please don't tell anyone. Why shouldn't I? Because I have a business. I have clients. If they find out I was booking properties for affairs, I'm finished. Should have thought of that before. I made a mistake. Everyone's made a mistake except me, apparently. But I'm the one being cruel. She wiped her face. What do you want? I want to know who else was involved. What? You didn't do this alone. You're not smart enough. Someone else helped coordinate. Someone who knew Sarah's schedule. Someone who could cover for her when she needed alibis. Michelle looked away. No one else? You're lying. I'm not. I showed her another photo, the one from Sarah's Instagram, the wine bar. The caption, "Tour finale with the best team ever." Who took this picture? I asked. Someone at the bar. No, look at the angle. This was taken from inside their group. Someone sitting at the table. She wouldn't meet my eyes. There were 5 glasses on that table, I said. Sarah, Evan, 2 friends, and 1 more person. Who was it? It doesn't matter. It matters to me. They weren't involved. Not really. Who was it? She took a shaky breath. Linda, Sarah's boss. Linda Hernandez, regional director for Cascade Valley Distributors. The woman Sarah was supposedly impressing with her dedication and work ethic. Linda knew? She suggested it. Suggested what? That Sarah network with Evan. His company is bigger than ours. Linda thought if Sarah could build a relationship with their sales team, it would help her career, help our whole team. A relationship. A professional relationship at first. And then? And then it became personal. But Linda didn't stop it. She said as long as it helped the business, what Sarah did on her own time was her choice. I sat back. This was bigger than I'd thought. This wasn't just an affair. This was career strategy. Corporate networking disguised as romance, disguised as betrayal. So Linda pimped out my wife for business connections. That's exactly what it was. She pushed Sarah toward Evan, used their affair as leverage. And you helped arrange the logistics. Michelle was full-on sobbing now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I was helping. You weren't. I stood up. Michelle grabbed my hand. Please, she said. Please don't tell anyone about Linda. If corporate finds out, we'll all lose our jobs. That's not my problem. Please, I'm begging you. I pulled my hand away. You should have thought about consequences before you started playing matchmaker. Outside, the rain had started, soft at first, then harder. The wind was picking up, shaking the trees. The storm was here. I walked out into it, let the rain soak my hair, my jacket. It felt cleansing. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Stay away from Sarah. This is your only warning. Evan, trying to be threatening. I texted back, or what? No response. I checked his Instagram. He'd posted 20 minutes ago. A gym selfie. The location tag said, Harbor Fitness, downtown. I got in my truck and drove. Harbor Fitness was in a 3-story parking garage, accessed through the rear entrance. The gym took up the ground floor. The upper floors were public parking.